Okay. Well, looks like we got some guys in the room here, and as we go through, if you have any questions, there's a little message deal there, and uh, like Rob was saying, that a couple of you may not have been on. This recording will be available, so you can go on and watch it over and over again. That's one of the toughest things with a clinic. You take notes and then trying to remember what you wrote down. I know I go through that all the time, or you forget something, you can just go back through and watch this. But I'm excited to talk to you tonight. We're going to talk about some option football from the pistol and some things that we've had a lot of success with. Uh, my background is option football. My first job as an offensive coordinator, our head coach wanted to be in the Power I. This was almost 20 years ago now. And we were a Power I football team. We evolved the next year into running a lot of option concepts. And then we evolved into the gun in the late 90s. And then it got into the pistol about 10, 11 years ago. So we're going to talk to you about some things that we've had some success with, option-based within our offense. And we'll go over a few run-pass options and some things like that. So I'm going to try to give you more than just an overview. I want to get into depth on a couple of things we've had a lot of success with that I think can fit any concept that you're looking to run. So my email's up here. Feel free to email me anytime if you have any questions. My Twitter address. We talk a lot of football. I know most of you guys are on Twitter already, but good place to talk some football. But let's kind of get into this. We'll talk a little bit about some advantages, what we look for in our quarterback to run the option game. And of course, this varies from year to year. We'll talk a little bit about our midline concept and all the complements that go with it. And then, of course, veer, our run pass options, how we evolved with those, and then some play action concepts and how we add some tempo. And I'll talk you through these things. That's just kind of a rudimentary overview. Couple things that we like about option football. First, we get more guys involved. A couple of the concepts we run, the way we run them and the way we tag them, we could have basically any of our skill guys could touch the ball on any play. And we really like that. We force defenses to slow down a little bit and play assignment football. Guys are getting real creative with their blitzes these days. The problem with those creative blitzes is oftentimes when you're running an option-based offense, they don't have a quarterback player, or they don't have a pitch phase player, or they don't have the conflict defender has to play run or has to play pass. And we'll talk a little about conflict defenders. We want to force the defense to defend the entire width of the field. This is very, very important. We don't want them to be able to defend an A gap or a B gap. And that's what we found when we were in the Power I. You basically defended between the tackles. You didn't have to defend the perimeter. With what we're doing now with this option stuff, you're going to have to defend the entire width of the field. I've found that it's often easier to read a guy than block a guy. And back several years ago, we were playing a team that had a Canarsie High School when I was in New York City. We were playing against them. They had a guy named Leon Williams. We were not going to block Leon Williams. He went to Miami and then went to play in the NFL for several years. I think he finished his career with the Cowboys or the Browns. But was a tremendous athlete, big, about 6'4", I want to say about 235 in high school, faster than anybody we had on the field. And so what we did was we basically read him wherever he lined up, or we checked the play opposite. But we found that didn't work real well because he'd still get to the ball. But it's often easier to read a guy than block a guy. We know a good athlete's going to touch football every play, and that's important. That's what the goal of our offense is. We talk all the time about players win games, not plays. We can have the best play call in the world, but ultimately we got to get it to our dudes. And what we really like is big play potential. I remember watching back in the 90s, watching Nebraska play, and Nebraska would be running the option from under center, and they'd get stopped, and then all of a sudden they'd break a big play, and they'd score a lot of points, and that's what we like. What are we looking for in a quarterback? And this is not just for an option quarterback, because the kid we have now is not a traditional option quarterback. We incorporate these concepts I'm going to talk about today into our offense because it makes our spread much tougher to defend. but we're looking for a guy that's selfless, intelligent, tough. He's got, and we're talking mentally tough. You know, he's got to be a guy that grins when he fights. When things don't go well, he doesn't get down. Ball security is very important. We can't put the ball on the ground. And our ultimate goal is we want a guy who's a coach on the field. I had a quarterback several years ago who now is a head high school coach, and Anthony Rodriguez is his name. And I asked A-Rod once, I said, you know, what's your number one job? And he said, hey, my job, coach, is to make you look smart. So that's pretty good description. So we want a guy who can make we say chicken salad out of chicken snot. You know, he can go out there and make a bad call good by either checking the play or executing our run pass option correctly so that we can always take advantage of the conflict defender. So let's talk about some traditional option concepts.